Here's a tragic and shocking story out of Alabama. Police say a black sheriff was shot and killed in cold blood as his own son watched. And the murder suspect is the white son of a sheriff's deputy from a neighboring county. 18-year-old William Johnson is charged with murdering Sheriff John Williams, also known as Big John. Police say the sheriff was responding to a call about a noise complaint at a convenience store when Johnson shot him. Here's how colleagues are remembering Sheriff Big John Williams.
If any of you know Big John Williams, he was a wonderful man. Everybody in law enforcement knew him. If you've ever met him, you'll never forget him.
Well, many media outlets are referring to this suspect as a teen. So, Rich, would that be accurate if he is an adult who allegedly committed murder?
No, 18, he's still a teenager, but by law, he's treated like an adult. So this is very different in terms of how you refer to him by name and whether and the punishment he will seek. He's being charged with murder, so like any other adult, he'll face the potential of if Alabama has it, obviously the death penalty. I mean, typically when police officers are killed, and I understand that this police officer, Big John, was actually shot in the head for responding to a complaint about loud music. What happened in between that time, we'll get those details hopefully soon, but certainly that does sound like capital murder.
It seems like an open and shut case. Is racism at play here? Is that a factor?
Well, there was a big delay in terms of the reporting of the particular incident. I mean, obviously, as you can see, this is a well-loved sheriff, but it happens to be the assailant happens to be a son of a sheriff deputy who later returned hours later to the scene with a gun in his hand. What happened between that time is what we need to find out in terms of the investigation. Was there any particular special treatment? Why wasn't he arrested at the scene? Why did it take so long for him to come back? Did somebody tell him to give him instructions to come back? Certainly, that has to be investigated and looked at.
And such a sad story to know that he was gunned down and killed in front of his own son. What did you think of that?
You know what? I really take issue with the fact of how the media is empathizing with this killer. I'm sorry, but when black people and black men in particular kill somebody, they're not called teenagers. They're called murderers, they're called thugs, and basically they're already like swept underneath the prison. They're automatically guilty.
So in what way do you think the media is sympathizing with the suspect?
By calling him a teen and a teenager. Let's remember when Dylann Roof killed a number of black praying people in a church, he was, after the cops finally picked him up, they brought him a Burger King because he was hungry. This country has a very sorrowful history of empathizing and being extremely compassionate with white murderers all the time. We're always saying it's mental illness or something went wrong, whereas if anyone who is black and brown commits the same horrendous crime, they're automatically demonized. And that really upsets me.
And the fact that the suspect is the son of a sheriff's deputy, do you think that will affect his trial or his sentencing?
Absolutely. I mean, Pops probably took him home, told him what to say, told him how to approach the situation. And I think that if you're in Alabama, right, so you look at the news and it says like it's a bunch of armed guards outside protecting this kid, I mean, it's a pretty high likelihood that you could potentially start a race war in a state like Alabama where so much power, white power down there, but then you have so many just angry black folks still just like from slavery times still in that place. You know what I mean? And so when I look at something like that, man, I think Pops took him home, told him what to say. They tried to control the situation as much as they could, and then they approached it after they had some time to think. But now I think it's in Alabama's hands to do the right thing. And if they don't, then...
What I'm hoping doesn't happen is, because we're still getting details, is that this guy who shot the officer, the assailant, doesn't claim that there was some type of self-defense because Officer Big John didn't identify himself, and the kid saw that he was armed, so he had to defend. That would anger me.
6'6". I mean, like it's
right, because there are a lot of details we don't know yet.
Exactly. 6'6", big black man. He had a gun. I had to defend myself. You know, that's what I'm hoping does not happen here.
And that's what was in the article. It said like we don't know if he was if he had the right car, if he had his uniform on.
Right.
And so they're already building up this narrative that could possibly go into the kid's favor.
Well, Sheriff John Williams was a 40-year veteran of law enforcement. We send his family prayers and hope that justice is served. You just watched a clip from the show that covers the culture like no other. For every episode, I assemble a panel of thinkers, activists, celebs, and outspoken experts to give us their unfiltered opinions on the topics that matter to Black America. This is elevated, intelligent, and uncensored discussion, representing every perspective. The conversations we have when we're the only ones in the room. No topic is off limits. We're not afraid to go there, and we do it all live 5 days a week. Join me here every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media at twitter.com/Marlie Show. It's The Marlie Show. There's nothing else like it.